Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So before I jump into the news, I just want to give you a couple of quick updates. First of all, if you are not a friend or supporter of the show, you want to become one. Tomorrow, I'm going to do my 1 hour hangout with the friends of the show on Zoom. So you guys get to ask me any question you want. I will try to answer all of your questions. So click on the link in the description box below to sign up for that for tomorrow. And in addition, Will and I have decided that we're going to change up the format a little bit. I'm going to continue to focus on politics and may add in some vegan stuff and some health news, but Will is going to solely work on the plant side of things. Every Monday at noon, he's going to be doing an episode called Ask the Trainer that's going to be live streamed here on YouTube. And you guys can, as the name implies, ask him any questions you want. He's going to come with one tip every week, a health tip, a fitness tip, nutrition, what have you. And then you guys can ask him about that, or you can ask him about anything you want. So that'll be a live chat, as I said, on YouTube at Plants and Politics. So on to the news. I have an update on one of Trump's capital terrorists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So you guys will definitely remember this guy, Ryan Samsel. Samsel is a 37-year-old Pennsylvania resident, and he was seen on video by bystanders who took the video. He was approaching the barriers near the Peace Monument on January 6th, and you could hear the crowd that he was in yelling at officers. They were threatening officers who were guarding the gates that had been attached to each other. And as Samsel approached, you see him, he's with the crowd, he's agitated, he removes his jacket and he turns his MAGA hat backwards like he's getting ready for a fight. And then you see him actually get into the stance of a fight. And then Samsel and others grabbed the gate that these guards were standing behind, and they started violently pushing on them and shaking them, trying to break them loose and get by. So the officers grabbed the other side of the barriers and tried to prevent these terrorists from removing them or getting through. And then that's when you see a female officer who had been holding onto the gate. She goes flying backward and she landed on a set of concrete steps. So she was knocked semi-unconscious. She later in the day actually passed out while trying to arrest someone because she suffered a concussion as a result of that initial attack, which Samsel was a part of. He was directly in front of her, shaking that gate. So Samsel was able to rush around the side of the gate, around the barrier where that officer had been. He picked her up off the steps and he said to her, quote, "We don't have to hurt you. Why are you standing in our way?" So this is a theme with this guy, as you're going to hear, as you're going to learn. And what I'm referring to is physically assaulting women. According to the FBI, also later that day on January 6th, Samsel scuffled also with another officer. He tried to steal that officer's shield. Samsel was luckily very easily identified because he has a criminal history dating back to 2003. I know, you guys are all shocked to hear that. In 2006, for example, Samsel was charged for making terroristic threats, reckless endangerment, and disorderly conduct. That was after he ran a woman off the road. He then punched her windshield and he threatened to kill her. Why, you may ask? What made him so angry that he went after this woman, threatened to kill her, terrorized her? Well, apparently they had a disagreement over $60. That triggered him. Then in 2007, Samsel was hit with a simple assault charge for knocking a man's teeth out. They apparently were in a fight. He knocked his teeth out. Then in 2009, Samsel was convicted for simple assault again. This time he choked a woman until she passed out, and he beat her so violently that he chipped her tooth. 2 years later, fast forward, 2011, Samsel is convicted again, this time of unlawful restraint and witness intimidation, disorderly conduct, simple assault, and reckless endangerment. That time, he attacked his pregnant girlfriend. First, they were in an argument and he shoved hot pizza in her face while they were arguing. Then, while they were walking home, Samsel poured a beer on her. Then he shoved her into a canal and then kept holding her underwater as she was begging for him to stop. She's pregnant at the time with his child. She told the police that she thought he was going to kill her. But wait, there's more, because, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to lock this guy up for good. In 2016, Samsel was convicted of simple assault. Again, this walking testicle took out his mommy issues on a female. He choked and hit a woman so hard that she suffered a hematoma. Now you're probably wondering why this guy is still walking around free. Yeah, that's our great criminal justice system here in the US. That's the justice system that locks people up for decades for marijuana possession. But hey, beat the shit out of a woman, maybe a few women, several women, couple of men maybe. Nah, you're good. Anyway, believe it or not, I haven't gotten to the end of this guy's rap sheet yet. That's not it. On January 6th, when Samsel helped to knock a female officer unconscious, he was still on parole for that choking and beating of the other woman who suffered a brain clot. Yeah, still on parole for that, for brutalizing another woman. And in addition, at the time that he was at the Capitol, just in front of cameras, protecting another woman abuser, Donald Trump, Samsel was wanted in another state, in the state of New Jersey, for repeatedly raping and beating another woman in her own home in 2019. He also choked this woman until she became unconscious. She told police that she woke up vomiting and Samsel was still in her house. So she got a restraining order against him, and he violated it numerous times. Trump has some really great supporters, doesn't he? All the best people. Telling you. And this is one of those poor, innocent January 6th domestic terrorists that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz are trying to get out of jail, trying to let loose on society. And you probably remember this guy because this was the guy who the right was boo-hoo-hooing over after prison guards allegedly beat him to a bloody pulp. His attorney said that he had his hands zip tied behind his back and that the guards beat him and broke his nose, dislocated his jaws, and now he's suffering from seizures. I guess now he knows how all those women felt, huh? Sorry. As you can tell, I have no empathy for him. No. As someone who grew up in a house with a woman beater, I have zero empathy for this pathetic, weak excuse for a man. If you put your hands on a woman, there's nothing weaker. Nothing. So it brings me great pleasure to announce that on August 25th, the grand jury indicted this woman-beating piece of excrement, and they increased his charges. Samsel has now been indicted for civil disorder, assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers using a dangerous weapon and inflicting bodily injury, engaging in physical violence in a restricted building or grounds with a deadly or dangerous weapon, 1 act of physical violence on Capitol grounds, and 1 count of obstructing an official proceeding. He now faces a maximum penalty of 55 years in jail. Now, you may think, okay, yeah, we've seen how that goes. But based on his past criminal history, I don't think this guy is going to walk with a slap on the wrist and some bullshit sentence. Because, apparently you can do whatever you want to women throughout the country over and over and over again, and you can just walk away with impunity. But this time, he actually assaulted an officer. So they might actually care. And if he does get some BS sentence, you will definitely hear a profanity-laced tirade from me. This guy should have been locked up for decades after his first attack on another human being, especially a female. Like I said, nothing weaker. Nothing shows weakness of a man that you suffer from small penis syndrome, like beating a woman. Just saying. Anyway, guys, I will definitely keep you posted on this one. As always, thanks so much for watching and listening. Be sure to tune in on Monday at noon. I also have a very interesting guest coming up. I'm just going to throw out that little teaser right there. I'm just going to say it has something to do with January 6th, but I'll give you more details later. All right, take care. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching and listening.